Hi everyone, welcome to the video tutorial on ACS basics. In our last video, we have already learned how authentication and authorization happens locally on the router. Today, we will learn how the same functions can be implemented from a central server known as the Cisco Secure ACS. Come on, join me and let us start. In today's video, we will be learning about the ACS web interface. We will be introducing you to the different sections of the web interface, and to sum it up all, we will do a simple lab task for authenticating and authorizing a user. Before we go any further, let me show you our topology for today. I'm using GNS3 for the routers, and as you can see on the right side of the topology here, I'm using two virtual machines, one hosting the ACS server and the other running a Windows 2003 image. Now, as you see the switch is nothing but a cloud connected to a VMnet 1 as indicated here, and the Windows 2003 server and the ACS server both are connected to the VMnet 1 switch. And I have also configured the 10.1.1.0 network for all three devices, such that they are all communicatable. They can all ping each other and reach each other. R2 is connected to R1 on a IP address on a network 20.1.1.0. Let's go into the Windows 2003 server. Before we go, let me show you one more thing in the ACS server. Now, this is my ACS server, and I log in here. I put the password. Before we go further, before we start the web interface, there are a few things that I would want you to verify on your installation of the ACS server. Please run this command: show application status ACS. Now, if you can see on the right side, we have running. All these processes should have running, and only then will we be able to run the ACS server's web interface. Okay, let me launch the web interface from Firefox. As I mentioned earlier, my ACS sits on the 10.1.1.100 IP address, so we will put that here. And since it's the ACS server, we run the HTTPS to the 1.10.1.1.100. It should automatically redirect me to the login page of the ACS Secure. You can see here Cisco Secure ACS. For a new ACS installation, the username is ACS admin, and the password is default in small letter. That is DEFAULT in small letter. When you log in, it will ask you to change the password. In my case, I have already changed the password, so it wouldn't ask me to do that. But if your installation is new, you would be asked to change the password. Now, this is the welcome page, and like you can see on this page, they give you the getting started, the tutorials, and other resources that you can get from Cisco's websites. And you can make the cosmetic changes on this section, the My Workspace section of the menu on the left. You can change the login banner, you can see your account, you can have a quick start and task guides and things like that. And that's what the My Workspace task the menu on the left is used for. The next menu on the left is the network resources. Now, this is where you would be configuring the network devices, for instance. Now, this is where you will tell the ACS server who is the AAA client who would be accessing the ACS server. So this is basically for your network management. Then this is the section where you would be configuring the users. You would be configuring the certificate authorities, certificate authentication profiles, if you want to have external user database like Active Directory, and things like that. Basically everything related to the users and the identity store would be configured here. The next section is the policy element. Now this is where you configure the policy. For instance, if you want the user to log into the into a certain device at a certain privilege, that configuration would be done here. Now there are two things which is critical for us for the scope of our syllabus is device administration and network access. Now device administration is the subcommand or the sub menu where we would be configuring the policies for TACACS plus. If you're using Radius, we would be using the authorization profile listed under network access. So that's something we need to keep in mind. Radius is network access. If it is TACACS, it is device administration. Now the next section is the access policy. Now an access policy, again critical things for us is the default device admin, which is used for TACACS, and default network access is used for Radius. So you would be configuring the identity authorization for Radius here, and for TACACS we would be configuring the sections here. The next is where we do the monitoring. So clicking on this would open another page with different monitoring and a review and accounting of the ACS server. You have different monitoring tools, but we have dashboard which gives us a wonderful report of the top 5 alarms. We can do different authentication trends. We can see the ACS health. We can customize reports depending on how we want to, what we want, different parameters. When we get into this section, we will look more into it. But for now, I think just know that this section is for monitoring and reports. And of course, the last section is for the administration, where you change the admin roles, admin accounts, password rules, and things like that. Basically, this is for the administration. That's about how the ACS web interface is. Now, like we have done in our previous section, where we authorized and authenticated users from the local database. Now we will be continuing on from there. Instead of using the local database, we would be using the AAA database on the ACS server. Now for that, like you already know, we need to enable the AAA new model. We need to enable AAA on the devices. So let's see what our task is. Okay, this is the task for us. That is, we need to telnet from R2 to R1, and R1 should authenticate and authorize the user from the ACS server. The user, which will be Imran, with the password Imran123, should be directly landing on privilege exec mode with privilege 10. Use TACACS Plus for AAA communication. Now that's a very simple task. And I think that's a task which is apt for the basics. Okay, now first let us see if we have communication to all the devices. So let's go here. Let me just ping 10.1. Sorry, that is 10.1.1.1. Because I can ping. Ping 10.1.1.100. Of course I can ping, no problem. So everything here is fine. Now let me go into R1. Now this is R1. So these are the pre-configs that I was deleting earlier on. So let me just clear the screen. Okay, let's try to telnet into 20.1.1.1. It says password required, but none set. Now this is because the line VTY0, it's trying to access the telnet through line VTY0, but there's no password set, nor has it configured any authentication. Now let's first start AAA. This is to enable AAA. We will tell them that AAA has to be authenticated. On login, we will say auth, and we will tell it has to be through TACACS Plus. Now this is for authentication. Now let's go to line VTY 0 to 4, any 5 lines from 0 to 4. We will tell them login, authentication, the group is AUTHC. Brilliant. Now what this tells R1 is that if anybody wants to log in to the VTY, we have to log in, and login is enabled for authentication. Login is enabled, and the method is auth is required. Now auth, if you go here and see that auth authentication is in the group TACACS. That means it's telling that we have to authorize this user, whoever is coming in, from TACACS, and we have to also tell R1 how to reach TACACS. So we say TACACS server host, we give the IP address. TACACS host is 10.1.1.100, which is the ACS server. We then give the key, and key is Cisco 123. We haven't yet configured that, so we will configure, but and another thing, we will just see the debug AAA authentication. Right, so now when we try to ping into R1, let's see what's happening here. Now if you can see here, it is trying and it's picking up a method auth, so which is the right thing, this is what we needed to do. So we wanted to pick the auth method. And also debug TACACS authentication. Now what we can do is we can try that once again and see what is going wrong. If you see here that it is it's picking up this method auth, but it is not getting a reply from the ACS server. Now the reason we are not getting a reply from the ACS server is because we haven't yet enabled TACACS. Now let's go here. We'll go to network device and clients. As you see here, we do not have a network device, so we will create a network device. Click on this, create. We will give the name R1 to it. The location, we can keep it all on default. The IP address of this device R1 is 10.1.1.1. We will enable TACACS, and the password we give is Cisco 123, which I can show you with show. I will go save it. Next, I will create a user under identity stores, internal identity stores. I will create a user. The user's name is Imran. Enabled, description, IT, right, IT guy. We'll give a password according to our task, that was small letter IMRAN 123, IMRAN 123. We need, according to our task, we need to land on privilege exec mode. So if you have to land in privilege exec mode, we need the enable password. The exec mode is when you do enable. Regular routers, you do enable and then you land into that. So if you want them to land automatically, there should be an enable password already set. So we set enable password as enable, E-N-A-B-L-E. We will submit it. So according to our task, we want when the user logs in with Imran123, they should be already landing on privileged exit mode with the privilege 10. Now that is where we set that privilege part on the policy element section. Now since we're using TACACS, we need to go under device administration. Like I said earlier, we will use shell profile. You come here, we will create a new shell profile. We will call it privilege maybe 10, yeah, because you can give any name, but we will call it privilege 10. We'll click on common tasks. We'll click on not use static. The value that we want to give is 10. Maximum privilege, we will tell 10. So this user is from, so if you can click on this, you can see that the user is going to go from 10 to 10. You can submit. So we have a privilege 10. Next we have the access policy. Now what does the access policy do? Access policy connects the user profile, the network resource and the policy element together. That means the user Imran should be allocated with this policy if it is coming from this network device that we configured here. Now we'll do all that here, and since we're using TACACS Plus, we will authorize it from default device admin. Now under default device admin, we'll click on the authorization bit, and yeah, so here we will create a new authorization. Now we need the user Imran to go into this profile, but if you see the condition, the username selection bit is not available. So what we'll do, we need to click on customize here. We need to add the username to the condition bit and click on OK. We'll create a new one. We will call it Imran privilege 10. Username is Imran. The shell profile that they should match if it is Imran is privilege 10. And I think we're good to go. Now after we do this, we should save changes. That's something people tend to forget, but we need to click on save changes under access policies. Now once the change is saved, we need to go back to our R2. Now this time we will try telnetting to the device and see what happens. This is exactly what we expected. We wanted a prompt to come. Now we need to log in with Imran. The username we want, or the username that we configured in the ACS web interface was Imran123. I log in with that, and we're landing on privilege. Sorry, privilege is on level 1. Click on enable. We go to, we put the enable password, enable, but it says access denied. This is because if we see here, so let me undebug all, so that undebug all. Let's now if you see our running config, we have configured the AAA authentication method only for login. We haven't yet authorized anybody, so we have to authorize the users. So we need to create an authorization method list called authorization. We need exec mode. Now when we choose exec mode here, that tells them that they have to straight go into the privilege access mode if they are authorized. we tell them that we give it a name. We use TACACS. Now what happens is, now we just created authorization method list. Now let's go into the line with the Y04 and we tell them that authorization for exec, again like I said, this is the privileged exec mode. So if we're authorizing the user to go directly to the exec mode by using the auth-z method list. Now this time we will try again. Telnet Imran 123, and let's do the show privilege. We are on privilege level 10. Now that was because, like I mentioned, because of this command that we're telling R1 that if somebody wants authorization, if checked with ACS server, if they authorized, put them directly onto the privilege exec mode. That is all we have from here. For more videos, please visit the website and I will see you all shortly. Bye bye.